lie to you guys, I went to go play Paradox just now and noticed that it was closed. That's right, guys. As it is, unfortunately, you won't be able to play Paradox. And I'm kind of left a little befuddled by everything and kind of confused. And, you know, typically I kind of stray away from videos like this where I talk to you guys about these games, their state they're in, what's going on with them and stuff like that. But I thought I'd talk about it today because it's just like, bro, anyways, we don't really have games to play. So it's like, gotta record something for some content on Roblox, am I right? Earlier today on the game's Discord server, Aiden, which is the owner of the game, said, "Hi everyone, I come with the unfortunate but necessary news that I must share with you guys today. As it was very evident, Paradox should not have released in the state it did, which is why we must private the game for a few weeks to work on it." By the way, just letting you guys know right now that, you know, don't get your hopes up with a few weeks, my brother. It is indefinite, okay? Some of you guys might be like, oh my God, but indefinite means that it's forever. No. Indefinite means that it could be forever or for an unspecified period of time. And you guys will see what I mean about unspecified period of time. The game was played with many issues on release, lag, and mobile and console support bugs, miscellaneous bugs with party missions, etc. On top of that, the amount of content was lackluster to say the least. No Bankai and Vault on release was a bad decision on our part, and just generally the overall lack of content was a big issue that shouldn't have happened in the first place. I take full responsibility for the unfinished state Paradox was released in. With that being said, we will be privating Paradox for a few weeks. No specific time frame as we add massive content updates with Bankai, Vault, and more content, a revamped combat, a polished game, rework console mobile support, new game modes, rework skill sets, and more skill sets in general and more. Which, by the way, this is exactly what I wanted to talk about. This is so conflicting and I just really don't know what's up with Roblox devs. I've always said it, but again, I think at this point we've gone into the state of Roblox to where I have to make standalone independent videos talking about things like this, because when I happen to do it in videos, seemingly for whatever reason, I tend to be the anomaly that, I don't know, for whatever reason, gets the most amount of younger kids commenting on my videos as if I don't know what I'm talking about when I literally lay out everything, brother. Like, I lay out everything in my critiques. I can like the game and critique it, but people don't see that and they invalidate it because Vex, you play simulator games, brother. Anyways, to sum it up, Aiden said, "We want Paradox to be the best that it can be, and to do that, we need to take time and ensure that it can get there. Once again, we do greatly apologize for the unfinished, buggy state of the game was released in, and we are aware of the failed expectations. We will take time to make Paradox the game you guys are all hoping for it to be." Now, here's the dilemma, right? And as I talk to you guys about this, I'll probably throw up some gameplay. I don't know, of like when I was playing the game before and being a Hollow and stuff like that, or Quincy. I don't know. Well, whatever is on the screen is on the screen, right, brother? And it's very unfortunate, by the way, the game's down because, like, literally, I'm trying to tell you, I was trying to get on today so I can finally become an wrong car on my Hollow class character since I did all I could do on my Quincy, but whatever, I digress. The irregularity and discrepancy and just confusing part of this announcement is the fact that they say that they're going to take a quote-unquote few weeks, but there's no specific time frame. And then it's trailed by a bunch of content additions and complete overhaul to the game's core mechanics and concepts that, to me, it's like, if you haven't been able to do that in the past year and change, what makes you think you can do it in a couple of weeks? And then let's say, for example, let's play devil's advocate here. If you can do it in a couple of weeks, then why didn't you do it before? And again, that's just an optimistic perspective. I'm telling you guys right now, it's more than likely this game will be down for way more time than just a quote-unquote couple of weeks. And if it does come back after a couple of weeks, for damn sure will not be inclusive of all these content updates and revamps and overhauls that they're talking about. And I want to be very specific here. I am by no means hating on the game. Like, I like the game a lot. You guys know that beyond a couple of hiccups with my experience and the combat and stuff like that, I like the game. You know what I'm saying? I was one of the first people to actually showcase the game's combat before it released, like last year or so. So I believe in this game. I like it. But let's just be real here. I think it's great that they're taking the first step towards responsibility and admittance of falling short of expectations. But again, it's like we've had all this time to work on the game, and make the game actually what it is that people were expecting it to be, fell short of that. But now all of a sudden, I just, to me, really, again, and I mean this with all the sincerity of my heart, this just is a tale of events that we've seen through and through multiple times on Roblox, of developers over-promising and, again, falling short of expectations. So with that being said and done, I want to specify that I'm simply just critiquing this announcement because we've seen it happen so many times. But listen, there is a very serious problem here with this announcement and over-promising, of course, amongst other things. But what they're talking about when they come back, again, in a quote-unquote couple of weeks, is setting the bar even higher, like for release, bro, than it was on release, should I say. And I just feel that with the vagueness and uncertainty of everything else in the announcement, it's just a recipe for disaster, and it's going to be another issue of under delivering. And again, I just think it's better to under promise, right, and over deliver. A lot of the issues that the game had when it released could have been solved and mitigated had they simply just been more involved with the community. Because heck, even when I made a video on the game before, hours before, by the way, the release date, or the planned release time rather, you know, I pointed out that there was like, yo, the Quincy NPC that you talk to take quests, bro, is a dummy, bro. It's not even it's not even a model. Like, it's just a dummy, like literally just a dummy, no clothing, no nothing. I even mentioned multiple times throughout the video that more than likely what you're seeing is not going to be inclusive of what's going to be in, you know, the Quincy area on release, because it was just so empty and barren. It was just like not fleshed out. It was not in a finished state. The game should have not been released. And multiple people were actually even commenting that the game needed like another 6 months or so. It needed more time because this was just not it. It was not like something that looked like it was a finished, fleshed out product. And that brings me to my next point about there not being much clarity about like the development process and how we're gonna work towards this not happening again. Like, how are you guys gonna make sure that it'll be different this time compared to last time? Like, what's being improved in terms of, like, you know, quality of life, the quality of the game, and what are you going to consider differently this time around before you re-release? I feel like this is what I'm saying, like with a lot of devs, if they happen to go this route, they don't really ever truly learn. It's just, you know, they pull back, try to hype it some more, pump it up again, release it, and just commit the same error again, which is why I don't think that a lot of people would care for a re-release or how the game would come back. And I hope that I'm wrong, because for the 50th millionth time, I did enjoy this game and I do believe in its potential. Now, something else that I believe should be a baseline for these type of announcements or just plans that these developers have when it's seemingly a little too late, in my opinion, is just as I said prior, they're listing all these new additions and stuff to the game, but they should really be emphasizing a focus on fixing what went wrong, and not like talking about or hyping up a potential re-release with all these other additions. Like, y'all should have been focusing on and emphasizing the managing of the qualitative side to these systems and not the quantitative things that you plan to add, because yeah, like, come back to the game, we'll have more stuff. Like come on now, you know what I mean? Because again, I'm saying multiple things multiple times over and over again because I want to be very clear, since I know a lot of you guys are younger and you have to like be spoon-fed a lot of these things. But with everything that I've been mentioning, you'll be able to manage expectations properly and avoid disappointment again. Because I'm telling you, this announcement is just building up people again. Oh my god, all this new stuff, it's gonna be there. It's only gonna be a couple of weeks, just to be let down. I guarantee you, bro. Like, and again, I in the event that I'm wrong, we shall see, and I will be there to cover the game and support the game, because for the 50 millionth time again, I like the game. But following up from this segment, I also wanted to talk about how they mentioned that, you know, Bankai's and Volts weren't on release or included on release. And that's something that had me left confused as well, because I didn't get to that point, given that I told you guys I didn't play as a Shinigami and I had yet to even become an Arankar for my Hollow class, right, or character. The question here is, you know, why? Why was that not included on release? And they don't even explain why they chose not to include some of these key features that are typically on release for a lot of Bleach games nowadays. So what was the rush there? And that's what I mean, like when you look at this holistically, that it just isn't indicative of like, okay, I really believe this is gonna happen, and I'm like, you know, like properly settled in my expectations, right? Like it's a mess, and this happens a lot, and I don't even know what to say at this point. So all in all, I just think it would have been a lot more effective if there would have been or have been a breakdown of all these things, and specify like how the issues would have been addressed. Like just highlight that, you know, you guys actually know the root causes. All we saw were generalities of things, and not even all of the issues that most people had complained about. As it is right now, players are literally in a limbo. Like they can't even talk in the general chat to the Discord server. They've literally disabled like all the chatting and stuff like that. I know people are frustrated, okay? If you believed in this game, you supported this game, I know you're frustrated and left with a sour taste in your mouth, which is one of the other reasons why I mentioned that stuff like this usually never works, and when games come back, people don't care, because it's kind of like the analogy I always give is food, right? You guys go to a store, you buy a candy bar or a piece of food or whatever the case is. If you're at a restaurant, you order something, right? And if that thing tastes like dookie, my brother, or it's mid, you're telling me that the next time you go to that place, you're gonna order that again? Or the next time you go, you know, buy some candy, whatever the case is, you're gonna buy that again? No, it's mid, it's bad. You had a bad experience with it. So that's why first impressions are so important. That's why mainstream development is hyper inclusive of expectations on release and setting proper expectations and not unrealistic. You know what? I'm not gonna be a violin here and just keep, you know, talking about the same stuff. But yeah, you guys see the deal. You let me know what you think about this and the updates and the time frame and what they said. But pretty lamentable.